I was like, I ain't got that kind of. I'm like, we call Diaz, so I'm not going to first. Oh, so
You don't want to go out there.
he's worried about distance.
We'd like to welcome everyone to the September 22nd, 2020 Board of Adjustments meeting. With that, calling to order the September 22nd, 2020 Board of Adjustments meeting. Roll call of members. I'm Eddie Crash, Chairman. Mr. Steve Jeffrion.
Present.
Mr. Devin Graham.
Present.
Mr. Willie Robinson.
Present.
Mr. Jake Jeffrion. Present. And Mr. Brandon Bennett and Ms. Darla Harris are absent. At this time, we would like to open up for a public comment period. If anyone would like to say anything for or against the Board of Adjustments.
No one signed up.
Okay. Closing public comment period. Do we have an acceptance of minutes for the July 28th, 2020 meeting?
Motion to accept.
I have a motion by Mr. Stephen Jeffrion and a second by Mr. Willie Robinson. All those in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Do we have an acceptance of the written decisions for the July 22nd, 2020 meeting?
Motion.
I have a motion by Mr. Jeffrion,
second.
Stephen Jeffrion, and a second by Mr. Jake Jeffrion.
Yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. At this time, we're going to start off with our first public hearing of the evening. If anyone is here to represent, please come forward and explain. I'm sorry. We're let's see here. Zoning. We're here to review public variances. We're going to start off with zoning review ID number PZ2378.20 Lot 2A Trailer Land Subdivision for Robert Breyer Jr., located on the west side of Jessica Street, approximately 375 North Pauline Street, to request a variance of the Ascension Parish Development Code Section 17-2073, site requirements F, purpose and intent, setback and yard requirements, residential. If anyone is here to represent this variance, please come forward. Please explain what you're trying to do and what your hardship is. Yes,
Good
sir.
evening. You have to forgive me, my hearing's bad, and I did, other than my name, that's all I heard. Or that's all I could make out.
Yes, sir. If you could just go ahead and let us know what you're here for and what's your hardship and what you're trying to do essentially.
Yes, sir. My name is Robert Breyer. I'm the father of Robert Breyer Jr.
Yes, sir.
I pastor a church out in Prairieville, and he's also a pastor with me. And where they had to postpone last month because of the storm, he had to be out of state on to do a wedding that this been for a long time. All right, so he had gotten permission for me to appear for him. And what he's wanting, his property is right joining my property, and he has to have a larger mobile home. He has a family of 3 boys and a girl, and he needs a 4-bedroom, okay? And the mobile home with the hitch is 76 feet long, but the hitch will be removed, once it's placed there, once the mobile home dealer pulls it there, and then that will make it 72 foot, which will give 4 foot on each side to my property line and the other property line. And the mobile home dealer said something about their like 5 foot. So he needs the extra other bedroom in order to for his family to be able to live into it adequately. So here to see if y'all would grant, him permission to put it there.
Mr. Robert, did he already purchase this trailer?
I'm sorry, say again?
Did he already purchase this trailer?
Well, he has and he hasn't.
Okay.
It's on, but he's held up until he got permission. It's on, everything's ready to go, just all he's got to do is get permission for this, and then, they'll bring it in.
Okay.
Anybody else have any questions?
Is this on Lonnie Goodall's old property, like the front part of his on Jessica?
I'm sorry, sir.
I was saying, is this on Lonnie Goodall's old property, like the
Yeah,
front?
Lonnie was my
So
neighbor for
you're-
30 years.
Yes,
and-
sir. So you're the house right there next door to the north side? I live back there, so I'm.
Yeah,
on
right,
Stanley
okay,
Street.
well, on the other side is actually our cousin, my cousin.
Yeah, okay.
That owns it.
Okay, that's what. And then it's Tyndall, okay. That's all, I mean,
Okay.
I know the area, so.
I've lived out there 40 years, and when Lonnie bought it back about 30 years ago, Lonnie had promised me that if it come up for sale, that, I'd have first chance at it. My son, got it, and, so that's, he's
Yes,
wanting,
sir.
well, without going through it all again, what I just told you.
All right, well, that's all I got.
Okay. Okay. Okay, sir, at this point, I'd like to open it up for public comment period. You can have a seat for a minute, sir.
I'm sorry,
You can have.
You can have a
Have a
seat for now.
seat?
Yes, sir.
okay,
We're going to open it up for public comment period.
okay.
Nobody signed up.
Nobody signed up. Okay.
So I think after we move the tongue, Lance, remove the tongue, we're actually only looking for what would the variance be?
Well, I was gonna say, does this variance include the tongue or take the
No,
tongue
it does
off?
not. It's not, what's written is not with the tongue, so it's, the tongue will be taken off, so it takes another foot off of it.
All right, so what's written is where the walls to the property line would
Correct,
be at.
yes, sir.
Okay.
Motions or discussions?
So the only thing I know that area, I grew up back there, so the only other thing you can do instead of putting it parallel to the street is to put it perpendicular. That would remove all this issue, right? Lance, is that your opinion?
Yes,
Okay,
you put it that way, yes.
so that'd be the only thing that would,
Well, I mean, to do that, you'd have to redo the foundation, the power, sewer.
yeah,
Water.
well, I don't know what all he's done, but yeah. I'm not against it, by the way, I'm just letting y'all know that the alternative would be to go perpendicular with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Believe me, they look better facing the road. I don't have
I'll
one, I
make a
don't have one
motion.
way or the other.
I'll make a motion to accept as written.
We have a motion to accept as written from Mr. Stephen Jeffrion. Do we have a
I second it.
Mr. Willie Robinson, second. Everybody in favor, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. Let's see, moving on to zoning review ID PZ 2391.20, Lot 9F, being a portion of Charles Henry Bertro property for RCB Prairieville, located on the west side of LA Highway 73, approximately 1,700 feet north of LA Highway 621, to request a variance of the Ascension Parish Development Code, Section 17-2086, sign on premises, sign standards A6C. Do we have anyone here to represent this variance? Please come forward, explain what you're trying to do and your hardship, please.
If you don't mind, real quick, sir, just to let you know, we approved it. I don't know if you heard, we approved it.
Yeah, they kind of
Okay, I didn't see if you saw, so I just want to make sure. So, all right.
Do we need to sign in?
No.
No.
Are
Okay.
you the applicant?
I'm the applicant.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, ma'am. I'm Jimmy Nunley. I represent the owners, RCB Prairieville. They're a group of oral surgeons out of Baton Rouge. In this office park, we'll have up to 5 to 6 buildings. It's linear in shape. And what we're proposing is a separate sign, which was approved by the seller, for the oral surgeons up front, so that it will give the rest of the building owners and occupants in the back to have some signage exposure there. I've talked to some of the people in the townhome development next door and assured them that we will not block their vision as they come out of the driveway, so that they can see any traffic coming down Highway 73. We're here to answer any further questions.
So what exactly is the hardship, sir?
The hardship, we're asking for 2 signs on this one development.
Okay.
If we ran parallel with the highway, I think we could do something a little different, but since we're perpendicular, so to speak, we can do up to about 6 buildings behind this oral surgery clinic. So it would be a little odd to have one real tall building showing all 6 tenants on there. And since we're the front and center building, we worked it out with the seller of the property to have our own exclusive sign, which was approved by the association.
Anybody have any questions?
Are they doing this anywhere as, for any other tenants in that area, in that property?
There are only 2 buildings. If you know it, this is directly across the street from Dr. Stephen Sherman, the orthodontist's office on 73. And no, it's, there would be still room with about 100 feet difference for the 2 signs on this property.
Good.
I'm looking and reading, just trying to see exactly what the hardship is. So you're saying one sign is there now and you're wanting 2?
That's correct. One sign is for the Spine Institute. I believe it's the building behind us. And then we wanted our own separate sign so that we can have a list of the physicians on that sign. That'll be 3, possibly 4 physicians. And then that sign that's existing will be upgraded later when there are more tenants or more occupants in the park, and which would give them Highway 73 identity.
So if we deny it, that one sign is gonna hurt the
Well,
tenants that's there?
If you see one sign there, it's kind of a wooden sign.
Okay.
I don't believe it's permanent in any stretch. We're actually looking at the back part of the property to develop it ourselves, and then we would be more in control of what the park sign looked like. But I would have to say the existing sign's pretty temporary. It's wooden, ours is gonna be metal, on a nice base.
Okay.
Is there a reason that you can't make that, temporary sign you have now more permanent rather than putting a second sign up?
That is not owned by us. It was erected by the developer or the owner of the site at that time. I can confer with them, but it's in no way large enough to put our identity on there that we need. We use a company called Morgan Signs out of Baton Rouge, which you may be familiar with. Does a beautiful sign, and we would be out of the Highway 73 right away.
I rode by and checked this out.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what's the, looks like you have plenty of room to put the sign on the building itself, which faces the road. What's the objection to that?
Tacky. You know, whenever you hang a sign or anything, they wave. We don't want to do anything on the brick. If you've seen it lately, we've whitewashed the building.
Yeah.
But we wanted to do something closer to the street, still out of the right-of-way, so that any adjacent property owners have a line of sight vision to see cars coming and going, but that would give these physicians more identity when you're traveling down Highway 73.
Any other questions?
Public hearing.
Okay. Well, you can have a seat, sir, and we're going to open it up for public comment period at this time. If anyone would like to speak, please come on up.
No one signed up.
Okay, no one signed up. Okay, closing public comment period. Okay, do we have a motion, or any additional discussions on this item?
Lance, y'all's opinion on it is just based on the fact that it's a condominium development. It's supposed to have one sign to begin with, right?
Yeah, the requirement is you're only allowed to have one sign per frontage, so.
Okay.
Yes.
And besides replacing that sign with something that could fit everybody in the future, they would have a height restriction and size?
Yes, they would have a height restriction and size limit, yes.
Okay.
So I'm a little confused on why they have so many tenants and not a big enough sign.
There are only 2 buildings in this park right now. If you look at the site plan, I don't know if you have a copy of it, but it's proposed for an additional 20,000 square feet behind. And that could be a combination of, I don't think you'd do one building at 20,000 square feet, but I think it would probably be 3 additional buildings. But what we looked at, and I think when we did the application for the waiver, we were looking at about 100-foot separation between the 2 signs.
So my little history on that, Jake, would be, they built it as a condominium office park to keep everything clean. The parish has a one sign policy.
Yeah.
So the developer didn't build a sign that could accommodate the
Accommodate.
original developer.
All right.
Didn't, so, but I like the ordinance personally. Keeps it clean.
Well, I also rode down there and where they are potentially gonna put the second sign is, to me, a sight issue. When you're coming out of that driveway, you gotta look to your left to see the traffic, and I think it's a safety issue as well as I don't see a hardship.
Yeah, I noticed that as well, safety issue on that.
Well, I drive that road every day. I agree. I don't see a hardship for starters, but definitely.
Are you
safety.
talking about a sign on the other side of the driveway? I would say, what would that be, on the east side? If you're coming out of the development, to the left or to the right?
Well, the sign that's already there is to the right, which is marked as sign A.
Right, correct.
So what I'm talking about is actually the north side of the driveway, which would be sign B, which is marked on this paper.
Which would be away from the school board's office, further away?
I'm not understanding what you're saying, away from the school. Where's the
Okay,
school
so
board?
the existing sign, which I'm going to say is a temporary sign, I think that sign needs to be improved in the future.
Well, I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
definitely a temporary sign.
Yeah.
Well, let me jump in. Steve, is this the picture you're talking about? Okay, no. Ah, okay.
What I would actually propose is, as you exit the driveway, going back towards Highway 73, is put the park sign on the left side of the driveway, but off of Highway 73 enough where you still have line of sight and you can exit, and then have this sign almost in the middle, if not cheating towards Interstate 10, if that makes sense. Oh, is that on there? Sure. I think you're right on there. I would like to see sign B be the permanent park sign. And then sign A, which would be BR Oral Surgery's sign, in the position of sign A. Is that how you understand it?
I'm understanding that sign A is the sign that's there right now. From what I saw riding by there today.
And sign B would be for the surgeons? No, that's incorrect. It's unfortunate that there's a sign there right now because it's so temporary. But what we were proposing is that that temporary sign would be a permanent sign in the future and be in the position of sign B. And our sign would be in the position of sign A, and she did a little bit toward Interstate 10 side. So that there'd still be 100 feet between the signs. And building the building for the physicians, you may be aware of them, they operate out of Baton Rouge. They've kind of kicked this park off again and built a 6,000 square foot building.
Well, I'll start the conversation back here. I don't see the hardship. The ordinance is, pretty good ordinance that keeps things off the side of the road, so
So we
I'd
have,
probably go with staff's recommendation to deny.
so do we have a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to deny.
So we have a motion to deny by Mr. Devin Graham. Do we have a second?
Yeah, I would try to get with that developer and try to see about maybe a more permanent sign on that original and kind of spruce that up before making a deal here. So I'll second that.
Okay, so Mr. Jake Jeffrey on is gonna second that. Let's take it up for a vote. All those, against? Or,
All in favor?
all in
All in
favor, I'm
favor?
sorry, all in favor of
Aye.
Aye.
the, unanimous, Mr. Willie Robinson? Okay, all right, motion is denied.
Thanks for your
Sorry,
time.
Okay, we'll move on to zoning review ID number PZ-2403.20, Lot 2 for Mary B. Thomas, located on the north side of Pee Wee Road, approximately 350 feet east of George Ruya Road, to request a variance of the Ascension Parish Development Code 17-2041, secondary family residences located in section 14, T-9-S, R-3-E, Southeastern Land District, east of the Mississippi River, Ascension Parish, Louisiana. Do we have anyone here to discuss or represent this variance? If so, please come forward and explain what you're trying to do and your hardship.
Good afternoon, how you doing?
Hi.
Hi,
ma'am.
my name's Mary Alford, and I'm here for my daughter Wendy
Miss
Thomas.
Mary, you're welcome to take your mask off if you'd like, so we can hear you a little better, if you're comfortable with it.
No, I'd rather.
Okay.
My name's Mary, I'm here for my daughter Wendy Thomas, who's 37 years old. She lives with her dad now, they're both handicapped, that way if one of them falls, one of them has the opportunity to call me. But her dad is wanting to move back home to Ohio, and I'd like to put something in the yard for her. She cannot live by herself. When she was 7 years old, she had a brain tumor. They radiated her twice a day at St. Jude. When she was 20, she had a stroke. Since then, she's had another stroke. She's had 2 more brain tumors where actually the skull opened and they had to take a flat back here and put it over her head so she wouldn't get a brain infection. About 2 weeks ago, we found out that she has some more blockage in the main artery going to her heart. She's already had carotid surgery. She still has blockage here and in the left arm. And she goes every 10 years to St. Jude, and she runs tests for them to help them. She has a severe balance problem also. I mean, she falls a lot. She just cannot stay by herself.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Mary, what exactly are you thinking about putting here?
A mobile home, or even maybe one of those little shed things that they sell that, I can make her a bedroom and a bath or something to that effect, either one.
Lance, if she does something like that, would she have to establish a new address and
Yes.
be here? Okay.
Yes, and she would need to make sure that the home was constructed to some type of standard. So either residential standard or HUD, like a mobile home. So these little tiny houses and things like that are not built to those standards. Those
Okay.
are RVs and campers,
Yeah.
which we do not permit.
I would actually like for her to have her own address. I mean, some of the services she gets now, she has to live on her own or she loses it.
Yep.
Yeah, she would have to get separate power and an address, and so, yes.
Just to be clear, on the map we have, this is the second lot, right? I'm seeing, it
My
says
dad
Thomas
lives-
on it, okay.
Yeah, well, my name's Alfred.
Okay.
My dad lives up front, my brother lives on the side of me, and then my other brother
Okay.
in the back, and my sister, and you know, it's a family. It was like my daddy, my uncle, my uncle, my uncle, you know,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
it was all family land.
Let me ask you, do you have a copy of the map by any chance? Is there any way we could bring it up on the screen, ma'am? And maybe you can show us exactly where you're trying to place it?
Oh, boy, let me get my glasses.
So Lance, I'll tell you, it's the depth of that lot, if you, I don't know it, do you know by chance what,
No, I do not.
I was saying if they were to put a mobile home, it seems like it'd be.
She would need to, yeah, it would have to be a small home in
Yeah,
order for it to be there.
and like, my house is here facing Pee Wee, and then I have a little bit land here, and I would put it going this way, not this way, to where.
Yeah,
Show us on the map, ma'am.
So is
Okay,
there a
where's your
building?
list?
Is
That's
there a
my
building
house.
to the left side?
And
Yeah, that's a building.
I can't tell which way this is. Is that?
Oh, shit, maybe. What is that, oh, shit? To the left there?
Yeah, what's that to the left?
Yeah, my house, it would be to the right, because I don't have much land here, and it's my brother's land starts. And then it goes to my dad's. Okay, this is my house.
And that's this right here.
Yeah, it would probably be right here where these little sheds are. My dad has some sheds right
Yeah,
there,
okay.
which a little bit of it is on my property, but if need be, my dad would let me take it down. I
Okay.
mean, he's 92, but I mean, he would have no problem for her to, or whatever.
Well, I'll tell you, my concern is, I believe, no matter what we do here, if you went and bought a mobile home, not knowing the size or anything, you might have to come back in front of us again
Yeah,
to
I
get the
mean,
variance on the,
I wasn't looking into anything until, you
Yes,
know,
ma'am.
if I could, you know, find out if I could do it, you know.
my thing, I just don't know that depth, and I'm kind of nervous.
Well, I mean, we have ordinance for that.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, you got,
We're not looking at that right now, we're just looking at.
no, I
whether we-
got you on that.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, I don't know if we could do it.
I mean, years before, they did have a trailer there. My sister had one. Well, my brother was there, and then my sister. You know, there's a pole right there.
Some old
and-
utilities
Yeah,
there
yeah,
as
still
well.
there, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, or do
Okay.
public and.
Well, okay, ma'am, you can have a seat. We're gonna open it up for a public hearing
Thank
at this
y'all.
time. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
no one signed up.
Yeah, was
No
anyone
one
signed up?
Okay. Well.
I mean, I'm not, I know that area's pretty open, it's all family. I'm not opposed to it, I just would hate for her to waste her time if bought the wrong size or something like that. I think her being aware of the size of the lot and all is important. But I'm not opposed to it, not opposed to it at all.
I'd like to make a motion because of the health circumstances
Yeah.
of her daughter.
Yes,
To
yes.
go ahead and accept this.
I'll
So
second.
we have a motion by Mr. Stephen Jeffrey
I'll
to
second.
accept, and we have a second by Mr. Willie Robinson. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Thank you, ma'am. And we're gonna move on to zoning review ID PZ 2425.20, lot 16 of Lake Martin Campsites, second filing for Wooden Creations, Inc., located on the north side of Lake Martin Road, approximately 3,500 feet east of Brignac Road, to request a variance of the Ascension Parish Developmental Code Section 17-2073, Site Requirements F, Purpose and Intent, Setback and Yard Requirements, Residential, located in Section 5, T-9-S, R-4-E, Southeastern Land District, east of the Mississippi River, Ascension Parish, Louisiana. Would like to go ahead and call If anyone has, anyone here to represent this matter, this variance, please come forward and explain what you're trying to do and your hardship, sir.
Good afternoon. Thank
Hi.
you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
My name's Roy Domingue with Wooden Creations, and we have these two properties that are out on Lake Martin. Years and years ago, this was developed as an actual campground. Some of y'all might have gone out there as kids, Steve,
Yeah.
right? So it was all good. This property is to the left of the boat launch when you get there. And as we began the layout of the homes that the customers were asking for, we looked and we didn't see there was anything negative going against the fact that the design that we were planning would put the house on Lot 16 closer to the south boundary line, and we were asking for 6 feet. And the permission to do that we observed was recorded in the restrictions, which are recorded at the courthouse, okay? As we got into the process, and I actually had all the plans, got all the things designed, went in, submitted for permit, made it through all the hoops, and I got stopped, and Lance says, look, man, accordingly, the 5-foot setback, which is recorded in the courthouse for restrictions, it's not stamped on the plans that was done by Mr. Earls and Associates back in 1992. Therefore, we can't follow what you want to do because it's only recorded in the restrictions, it's not recorded on the plat. So the other document that I did was I had my draftsperson create, I'm not sure if it picks it up here, yeah, so you can see here, by putting the homes in the position that we are, you can see that we've got real nice space between them. Because on lot 16, on lot 15, we're pushing the house further to the south, making for a nice ample space that's going to be between 15 and 16. And then, of course, 17 is already built. 17 is my sister-in-law. And so it puts a nice space between those two homes. I personally live on lot 18 at the very end, okay? And so it makes for a nice format, a better presentation. And so the hardship that I ran into is the fact that if I were to take this house and push it further to the north, I actually have a power line with Demco that I'm gonna have a little conflict with. And if you look real tightly at the front building line, I'm gonna end up encroaching. So my request is that please honor what was done originally by the founders and allow us to have this smaller setback on the south side is the only requirement, the only thing that I'm asking, so that we'd be able to get these two homes established for these two families. Thank you very much for your time.
Well, Mr. Roy, thank you for coming in this time before we put the foam boards down. I remember last time you were in here, foam boards were already up. So,
You're right.
lesson learned, huh?
I got it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
burn once, you learn the second time.
That's right.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
We'd like to open it up for public comment period at this time.
No one signed up.
Okay, no one signed up. Okay, we have, any more discussion?
So
Motion.
just to make sure, I don't want to sound like I'm against, we're just asking for that side though, huh?
That's
There's
correct,
nothing on
just
the
that
front,
one side, not the
Okay.
front, just the side.
Yeah, all right.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Okay,
as
we
written.
have a motion by Mr. Willie
I'm
Robinson.
a second. I need to get my name on some paper tonight.
We have a second by Mr. Devin Graham. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, sir. Let's see here. Do we, at this time, do we have any old business?
No, sir.
Okay. Do we have any new business?
No, sir.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a second.
Boy, David on a roll.
We have a motion by Mr. Devin Graham and a second by Mr. Stephen Jeffrey on. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.